I've heard probably the best Asian jokes ever, all delivered
All
towards me.
right, Dumbfoundead, what's up? My name is Sade. I'm from Much Music.
Nice to meet you.
I know I asked you already, but for the sake of the video, what'd you do today and how's your day going?
It's been good, just getting my day started. It's looking like summer out here in Los Angeles. It's beautiful.
Ooh, nice. I love that. Here in Toronto, it's like it takes us a little bit longer to get there, but eventually we get there.
Yeah, yeah, I love Toronto.
So, you pretty much came out of retirement for the resurgence of King of the Dot. It's a rap battle competition of the 2000s in Toronto.
I'll call his bluff, like Parasite sneak in his crazy rich parents' house when they've gone to brunch. Shang-Chi, 10 rings, I break everything everywhere all at once.
It's been 7 years since you battled. How did it feel to pick up the mic in that environment again?
I love it. I mean, I love battle rap. It's where I started. I'll always show so much love to that community. Whatever I venture off into. It takes a lot for anybody to step in that ring and put yourself out there to open yourself up to be heckled, essentially. I always compare it to like a stand-up comic, except if someone's heckling you, they get a chance at you too, in the crowd. So I think it takes a lot for somebody to battle, and I love the community. It made me who I am, made me stronger, and the support was still there 7 years later.
It is such a tight knit community, and I guess it's like such an underground thing. And I guess if you're always taking these hits, you need that community to be like, we're all in this together a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, no matter what we say, it's really ruthless in there,
Yeah.
but it's still love at the end of it. That's what people don't see. I always get friends of mine coming up to me like, how do you take it in there? They're saying all this crazy stuff to you. But at the end of it, like we shake hands and it's a sport.
Mhm.
So
Do you remember the most clever or impressive jab that anyone's taken at you?
I've heard probably the best Asian jokes ever, all delivered towards me. Obviously, there's some offensive stuff, but if it's done well, it's also I can respect it, and it's good. If there's a good punchline, it's a good punchline, and I think that's yeah. There's been just a handful. I don't want to repeat it to get the Asian community mad at me, but it's
I
great.
don't think they could ever be mad at you. Come on. You're
Exactly,
representing.
exactly.
So there were a lot of dudes who came out to participate in the event and show love to the late Pat Stay. Were there any rappers from Toronto or from Canada that really stood out to you?
Yeah, you know what? It was good to see the return of Hollowhand. I know he's a big figure out there who's been doing it for a long time. So a lot of people came back for this Pat Stay battle. I've been in the game for a long time, but I can't say like just because I've been in it longer, like I'm on the same levels. These new cats are crazy, and the whole craft has leveled up. So I just know anytime I step into the ring after years of being away, I have to work like twice as hard or three times as hard because everything has just leveled up. The bar has been raised. So the new generation of battle rappers it keeps me on my toes for sure.
These guys read the entire dictionary, all the
Straight up.
encyclopedias,
Yeah,
Oxford.
exactly. They've done their research. That's all I gotta say.
In what ways are you still involved in that world? Because I know since you weren't battle rapping for a while, how have you stayed in touch?
Yeah, so for me, I think right now I watch more as a fan. I keep up with battles that I do want to watch, and I still am amazed by it. My mind is blown by it, but I am in the process of trying to bring the battle rap world into television in scripted form. I'd love to make a TV show based around battle rap and the community of it. I think what people don't realize is like when they think of battle rap, they ultimately think battle rappers are just trying to get a record deal. But there are battle rappers who just battle rap, and that's like the one thing they do. And some have other jobs, some, do other things. And they turn into these like almost superheroes in this battle rap community at night. So I think there's something interesting there. Some of the people being passionate about the specific subculture of battle rap.
That's really cool because I think the only places where I'm seeing battle rap now is like Versus or Wild Now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that'd
And
be
this is
awesome.
and that's not that's non-scripted, but this is a scripted version of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your opinion is on rappers who choose not to or don't freestyle.
Uh, yeah, that's interesting. I grew up freestyling my whole life, and my generation did too. Um, and I know that art form has died out a little bit. And I still love the new generation of hip hop. Like, I'm not one of those like older heads that like are like bitter about everything. But I do know freestyling as an art form is not as popular. Like if I go to hip hop events, there aren't kids like freestyling outside on the curb, you know. I do think there's stuff that kids do better now as rappers, um, that the generation before couldn't do too. I think some kids like are crazy in the studio. They can freestyle a whole song, but not necessarily they're not freestyling out on the street. So there is a level of freestyle that happens like in the studio, I think. But I don't think it's anything that you need to judge a rapper by. There's rappers who can make classic songs that can't freestyle.
As the tides were kind of changing in rap, that was a big thing. I think people even mentioned like Drake, oh, he can't freestyle, or he wouldn't freestyle. So that was something that people would demote points for rappers. But now I
Mhm.
feel like it's not so big of a thing where people are like judging rappers based on that skill.
Nah. And ultimately it just comes down to the raps, you know what I mean? I've heard people who can freestyle have terrible freestyles. A freestyling is something that sounds more amazing when you're there and you're realizing they're coming up with it from the top of their head. You rewatch that same freestyle that was amazing in person, like a week later, it's not going to be as tight.
So you've spoken about growing up Asian and growing up with a Korean origin in Koreatown, LA. Shout out to Koreatown. I see your sign in the back. Um, and also not having a lot of representation in the music industry. But now K-pop is huge, huge globally, and right behind it is K-R&B and K-rap. I'm wondering how you feel about that music genre kind of coming to light.
I love it. It's amazing. I mean, as a person of Korean descent, it's pretty wild for me, I would say, to turn on a radio and hear Korean lyrics coming from BTS, Blackpink, or whatnot. Um, it's just weird. Like, I don't know if I should be feeling weird, but it's just crazy. I think it's just because it's my specific language, that I grew up with in the household. And we've heard, Latin music explode on the airwaves and Spanish on the airwaves. Um, but I just didn't think Korea, this small country in Asia, just would just go crazy, and they'd have so much influence with their music. I think it's great. I'd love to see it even more from different countries. I feel proud to hear my country represented, but I want to. It'd be amazing to hear other Southeast Asian countries get some representation, and everybody. I feel like we've definitely have gotten our turn now. So just spreading the love all around. And I think it just shows that anything is possible. There can be some crazy pop cultural influence coming from another small country around the world, and influence the rest of the world. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you heard a Korean song on the radio, like in America?
It has to be one of the BTS joints, right? Like,
Really?
I feel like, I mean, I knew a lot of the Korean music popping off globally, but far as radio play, I feel like BTS probably
Yeah.
was, the first joints that were blowing up, because that was my era was like Big Bang, 21, and then it went into like Blackpink and BTS.
Yeah.
And I think there's just going to be more and more coming out. Like New Jeans is popping off, and there's all these different groups. It's really crazy. It feels like a we have arrived kind of moment.
Mm-hmm. Same for me. I grew up like I was maybe in grade 8. I was listening to Big Bang and 21. I'm like obsessed with Big Bang. I spent so
Yeah,
much money on their show when they came here.
yeah.
So I remember the exact place I was, even when I heard when I heard a Korean song on the radio and it was Gangnam Style. And I was
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
listening to it and I was like, this is in Korean. And I just blew my mind. And then the song blew up and I was like, wow, this is insane.
Okay, well, yeah, I totally forgot about Gangnam Style. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that is definitely the first Korean song ever on the radio in
for
America.
sure.
And so much love to Psy. Yeah, he's definitely a
Mhm.
pioneer for that.
So what's your day-to-day like now?
Day to day, like, I do a lot of stuff. I podcast. I do stand-up comedy. I write. I make TikTok. I'll show you my day-to-day right here real quick.
Okay.
I have a board here of
Okay,
everything
you're
that I do.
organized.
So music wise, there's features, there's all that. There's Fun with Dumb podcast, classes, acting, writing, martial arts classes, TikTok reels, and then right here, stand-up comedy. Do about like
Damn.
3 shows a week, stand-up wise. Recording some music. I'm trying to, write my first feature screenplay wise, and yeah, trying to do more acting and TV stuff as well. But living that LA life out here in the
Yeah.
sunny California.
Okay. Yeah, you're super organized. You got a trajectory. You have all the steps to get there. I love that. It's way more organized than I am because I don't have a board.
I know. It's trust me, I'm just kind of getting organized.
Nice.
So,
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. This was so fun. It's been great to talk to you.
yeah, thank you. Shout out to Much Music. Thank you to King of the Dot for always having me in Toronto and inviting people from all over the states to visit Toronto and learn more about Canada and the culture out there. So, I got so much love for King of the Dot and Much Music. I've been following you guys for a long time as well. So
Thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
yeah, take care. Thanks, guys.
Bye.